I want to do a video talking about, is the Ten Commandments still bound in today? Because many people have different beliefs, ideology, uh, eh, they have different perspectives on it. But I have proof and evidence. I have, most of all, I have the Bible. And this book is not like any other book. Like, let me give you a simple example. Um, you need if you're trying to get to New York, are you gonna be able to just, or can I come out and tell you, I don't need a map. It doesn't matter. You can go any road and it's gonna get you to New York. If I say you can go anywhere, although everybody is saying different things, you know what I'm saying? There's only one correct way you can get there. You see what I'm saying? Like at these apartments here, there's only one correct way is to get to these apartments. You can't go to New York and get to these apartments because you can go a different route, but you're not gonna find this correct address. That's like me saying, what if I ask you, or if you ask me, Clarence, I want to hire you to be a pizza delivery, and you give me somebody want a pizza delivered to their house, and and I don't know where these people live. Let's just say I don't know where they live, and they say, well, we got to give you the directions of how to get there. And I say, well, it doesn't matter. I don't need the direction how to get there. Now, knowing that, I don't know how to get there. Never been in that area before. I don't have a GPX, which is a modern day technology. I don't have none of the guidance. So, because I didn't follow the order and didn't follow the guidelines that the manager gave me, and I'm saying, I'm gonna go try to do, it's impossible. Now I'm on the road and you traveling to that, call yourself traveling to a destination, but you don't have the guide board on how to get there. You don't have that. The guide board is that map, the directions that they told you is to use is to get there. And if you don't pay attention to what they telling you, what they wrote down on the paper of how to get there, they say it's going to be on Mars Boulevard, 125th Street. Now, if I ignore that they gave me the number to the address, if I ignore that they gave me, you say you're gonna see a green and red and white looking sign at a house, and it's gonna be a brick house. It's gonna be a two-story brick house with four doors, one at the bottom, one at the top, one in the middle, and the fourth one is way at the top. Now, if I don't, I just made up something like an example. Now, if I didn't follow that, if I didn't take the instructions that the boss gave me, what do you think going to happen? I would never get to that destination. I would never know how to go and deliver that pizza to that address at that same address. You see what I'm saying? So that is the same way it is with the Bible. If we can sit up, I hear people say all the time, well, it doesn't matter what you eat as long as you pray over it. I've been hearing that my whole damn near my whole life for a long time. When I turned 17, I've been hearing it all along. Here I am, 49 today, and I'm still hearing the exact same thing from people. But they still want to fight over and not acknowledging that they're still getting sick and our people have diabetes. Why? Because we failed to follow that map, that guide board that was given to us by our manager. and that manager is the Most High God. So, what I'm going to go into is I'm just going to read a couple. This book was written by a Edomite. I don't agree with them, but I can agree with some of the things that's in here. So let's kind of read and go through some of it. Most leaders of professed Christianity insist that the core of God's spiritual law, the Ten Commandments, is done away. Repeating what they have been taught without requiring proof, they call it the law of Moses and claim that it was abolished by Jesus Christ's sacrifice. But they do not know the difference between the Levitical sacrificial rituals, the law of Moses, and the law of God. Okay? They don't know the difference. They don't know the difference between the law. Because if you look at Matthew 5 and verse 17, the Bible says, think not that I've come to destroy the law. Do not think that I've come to do away with the law. You see what I'm saying? Now, in that context, it's not talking about the animal sacrifice. It's talking about the law that Abraham kept, which was the law before Moses. It's talking about the law that Job kept, Daniel, Jeremiah, all those people, Moses. It's talking about the law, the same law that Abraham kept before there was any sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? It's talking about the law that Adam, Eve was supposed to keep before the fall. It was presented to them. It was not the sacrificial law. It was simply the law of God before the sacrificial animals law was given. So that law had to be in place before transgressions or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So the law that was we don't have to do is kill and slit animals and catch the blood in order to have peace. All right. A combination of ignorance and attempt to minimize now they say in Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments is just a summary of the 613. They minimize the Ten Commandments as a dispensational, oblig, ob, arbitrary, ob, o, obliter, obliterate, no, obligation, obligate. Oh, wait a minute, obligate. I don't know what that is there. But hold on. Let's hold on. Wait a minute. Let me do something right quick. This word is obligatory. Obligatory for a limited period of time has caused most to believe the Ten Commandments did not exist prior to Moses receiving them on Mount Sinai. Is this true? Is this what the Bible teaches? What other chapters of this book will address whether the New Testament requires obedience to these marvelous laws? Our purpose here is to examine the period from creation to Moses, keeping in mind that Scripture cannot be broken. What Scripture can be examined for proof? Law of Moses or God's law? God's laws. Okay, there are many scriptures to prove it, and but I'm just gonna do just a little bit. Uh, the law of Moses or the laws are God's laws. The Ten Commandments were never referred to as the law of Moses, but rather the law of God. I would say the 613. First, understand this. The law of Moses consisted of one, the civil laws, which were statutes and judgment that Moses related to the people from God recorded in Exodus 21 and 23 in the remaining books of the law. And two, the ritualist law. The ritualist laws are Greek egon, that were added later, summarized in Hebrews. In Hebrews 9:10, they were ordinances regulating the job of the tribe of Levi and the temple services, sacrifices in Leviticus 1 and 7, and associated and functioning the the word egon means works as the works of the law, such as in Galatians 2 and 16. This refers to the labor involved in the Levitical rituals that were abolished by Christ's sacrifice. The Ten Commandments, and when you hear the word Ten Commandments, it's really altogether 613. The Ten Commandments were already in force long before they were officially given to Israel at Mount Sinai, and this will be demonstrated. In fact, these commandments have existed since the creation of man. The Ten Commandments were never part of the law of Moses. Addressing more fully later in the chapter are Levitical sacrificial system. The civil laws and sacrifices were based on God's commands, which constitute the core of the Ten Commandments. Thus, the Ten Commandments proceeded and transcended any ever, yeah, the Ten Commandments proceed and transcend in every lesser law or practice based upon them. Statement, statutes, judgments, principles, and ordinance. They are just as active as the physical laws of activity and moria. The Ten Commandments are God's spiritual laws. Romans 7 and 12 to 14. They are just as active as the physical laws of gravity and in 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 cedar. Well, I don't know what that is. It look like a solid word. It's spelled Inertia. Just as breaking physical laws result in physical consequences, breaking spiritual laws results in spiritual consequences. Now, the last part, the getting deep into it, it's breaking down what is sin. And then it goes on, in order for you to understand what the law is, you have to understand what is the definition of sin. What does that mean? Yeah. So we're gonna define sin. Define what the sin is defined. What defines the sin? You know. So that's what I talk about since I'm falling asleep.